Now your hosts for KLEAN Radio, Andrew and Judah.
Welcome to KLEAN Radio. I'm Judah, and without my co-host tonight, Andrew Spanswick, you're listening to KLEAN Radio. That's KLEAN with a K, KLEAN, and the number here is 877-830-830. That's 877-830-830. But in Andrew's place tonight, I have Jennifer, Easy on the Eyes, Gimenez.
Hi.
Hey there. You might recognize her from Celebrity Rehab, Sober House, and such movies as Charlie's Angels, Vanilla Sky, and a whole slew of Hollywood hits like Below. Thank you for coming in tonight, Jen.
Thanks so much for driving me and for asking me to come out here.
My pleasure. Our pleasure, actually.
Well, it's just your pleasure.
It is my pleasure since Andrew is not here tonight, and we are a show about life, about addiction, life after addiction, and which is interesting because you've been in movies like Blow and shows like Celebrity Rehab and Sober House, and you're constantly. I see you on. Well, I don't watch CNN, so I'm not going to lie. And with Jane Velez Mitchell and all these shows, you're like the it girl.
Oh, that's so sweet to say. I'm definitely the hustler right now. I'm wearing a lot of hats these days. It's been a great ride. This last few months has been an amazing experience, an amazing time. Lots of growing. And
it's pretty amazing how we were just in McDonald's because we treat our guests right here, and the girl, one of the girls recognized you, and it's got to be pretty amazing. I mean, you're being recognized from Celebrity Rehab or Sober House. How many people do you think watch the show that are addicted, in recovery, or just people that actually like watching the show?
Well, how many people? I think there's I'm
saying most of the people that constantly see you, are most of them in recovery, or are...
No, a lot of them are a lot of them who come up to me, actually, personally. Not all of them are in recovery, but they've been touched. What I've realized from breaking my anonymity and doing shows like Sober House and Celebrity Rehab and coming outwardly and breaking my anonymity on such a grand scale is that alcoholism and drug addiction has affected everyone in the world,
yes,
all over the world. And if it's not you, it's someone that you love, you work with, a hapless passerby, an employee, employer. So I feel like this movement right now, that, bringing awareness to the disease of addiction has been such a profound thing. And for me, it's an honor and a privilege. Like, I never thought, in spite of my weakest moments of my life and my biggest character defect of having a disease and not really knowing it, that it would become my biggest attribute today. And it's, I'm a work in progress.
Which is pretty amazing because most of the things that don't kill us do become our biggest attribute. At least, as far as I found in recovery.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think, when you say just as far as the recovery, I think it's everything in life. Like, I've been able to become more aware and more present with things. And I now have recovered from drugs and alcohol, at least today, in the last 5 years and 8 months and 4 days or so.
Not caffeine, because if anybody's watching us on live stream, they see our coffee, our Rockstar, and our Red Bull.
It's pretty intense on that level right now. But I have been, like I said, I've been hustling. Like, I've been going, and I've been in fake lashes today since 7 in the morning.
I was going to ask you about that. You were at a special event today honoring a past guest of ours.
Bob Forrest?
Yes, Bob Forrest.
Amazing. It was, it's awareness, I think I know it is actually, September is Awareness in Recovery Month. And so the Promises did a big event from people from all over the country came out and went to this charity event, which was amazing. I love Bob. I knew Bob before I went into Los Encinas, and then I saw him when I checked in, and I was like, oh my God, you're here too. That's so cool. I'm all gacked out. And
gacked. And for the people that don't know what is Los Encinas, that's Dr. Drew's.
It was where Dr. Drew used to practice. It was he was in charge of the chemical dependency unit there, and I was like, Bob, Bob, you're here. That's so cool. Like, how long have you been here? And he said to me, oh, kid, I'm your counselor. And it's been a great, walking journey. It's been a great journey with Bob and with Dr. Drew. And the last 6 years, I checked into treatment July 12th of 05. And I did not stay sober, but I ended up coming back into treatment January 15th of 2006. And that's been my sobriety date.
It's amazing. It says about 5.5 years.
I just said 5 years, 8 months, and 4 days.
Okay.
But it's
I was thinking of the
days.
next question I was going to ask you. And
wait, can we just go back really quick on the McDonald's situation?
I don't think we have a choice.
No, yeah, I know. We don't. I cannot believe I have been talking and driving people crazy about wanting to eat Big Mac and extra crispy fries. And I went into McDonald's and all I got was coffee.
Yeah, you did great. No fries.
But
and a water.
Oh, and a water, yeah.
Yes.
But oh my gosh.
You lived big.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
With 2 Splenda.
Yeah, thank you.
And yeah, it is pretty amazing because I know weight has been an issue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to bring that up, but
I'm very public about it. I think everything has been an issue, from learning to, from sex addiction to eating to drugs and alcohol to overcoming abuse. Like, I've been very public about that. I think that, being an alcoholic in recovery, I am a trauma survivor. I think a lot of us are. I think all human beings are of some sort. And it's just been great to be able to stand in my truth about it and actually overcome things. It's
How hard is it for you that when you meet people, they automatically know you? So they assume, you're so public about this stuff. So when people meet you, it's almost like it's an uneven shake because they know more about you right off the bat than you will know about them. Yeah, no, it's, I'm learning to deal with it. Before, when Sober House first came on, I was so caught up in people's energies and emotions, and I would want to take their pain because people, I think the difference between doing movies and being, a supermodel back then was, people would say, oh, I like your work, I like what you do, or that was a great movie. Now it's, I'm being brought into their homes via their living room or their bedroom watching, the shows, and it's a reality show, and what goes on there is very real. But the difference between me and the rest of the cast members throughout the years is that I am present for moment to moment, and I do share a little bit of things, but nobody knows the depth and weight of what I've gone through. Unless you read my blogs or read my stories and stuff that I talk about, or TV, radio shows like this. By the way, you're listening to KLEAN Radio, and if you don't hear Andrew's voice tonight, he's not here. And it's me, Judah, and sitting in the studio with the Jennifer Easy on the Eyes Gimenez. Can you tell them why you say easy on the eyes? Well, because Patrick and our video guys, Patrick and Steve, find you very attractive. Yeah, but they're so cute. They're like, cute. They have lipstick on their cheeks right now. They are very cute, and they said, well, at least your co-host tonight is Easy on the Eyes. So that's where the nickname Jennifer Easy on the Eyes Gimenez comes from. And, I mean, I think it's amazing. Do you get knocked at all from people that say, how can you break your anonymity? Because there is, we've discussed this on the show a lot, and there was a New York Times article about there's no longer an A in anonymity. Has it been hard? Have you had many people walk up to you and say, how can you do that? I had people ask questions like, why did you do that? I'm entitled to break my own anonymity. Right. I don't break what happens in 12-step rooms or. And what's your answer? My thing is it's been an interesting process. I mean, it's my choice. I'm not breaking any traditions. Therefore, I think everyone talks about all the tragedies that you see and with people that are in the spotlight, public figures, celebrityism, and all that stuff. And I think that we're showing that you can overcome things, and why not bring some light to it instead of just the darkness? Right, which is what sells. Yeah, I mean, it is what sells, but it also people love comeback stories, and people, I believe in miracles, and we love seeing, people like to see people come back from situations, and you want to cheer them on. Oh, I agree, and one of the reasons we do this show is because one of the biggest is I used to love that show Behind the Music. But one of the things I always felt was missing was I wanted to know what happened after. Mm-hmm. And I think that is the most important thing in sobriety, is not just it's experience, strength, and hope, and we need to see the hope. So I mean, it's pretty amazing what's gone on in your career now, because that is the hope.
Yeah, no, it is a hope. And you know, for me, it's an unbelievable that I don't have to walk in shame that I have a disease, and or if I was out there, like, I don't have to walk in shame from it anymore. And I kept it such a secret. And yes, I respect those who still keep it a secret, but I also, you know, feel that people can connect. You know, and it's not just with me, it's a lot of people, you know, that have broken their anonymity. And you feel this connection, like, you know, you're giving, sometimes people see the triumphs and stuff and people go, wow, I can do that too. Or, yeah, I'm not alone in this.
Right, and
know?
it's not like anybody ever watches, you know, Celebrity Rehab, and, you know, Steven Adler's on it for for 3 years or however many years, and goes, wow, that guy's doing well. You know, that they're never going to look at him and go, I might want that, until he gets help.
Well, the fact that when he walks into those doors, through those doors, or into that sober living house that we were shooting in, they believe that there's hope, because some of people go through that.
No. What I'm saying is nobody's ever going to look at him and say, when he relapses, and say, well, that might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Because he never comes back in looking great.
Yeah.
So the danger, I understand a lot of people sometimes think, oh, there's a danger in somebody breaking their anonymity, but it's not like it looks good when they do. You know, it's not like when they go on these relapses, it's not like people look at Charlie Sheen and go, I want what he has.
No,
well,
I
maybe
know.
not at the end, but in the beginning maybe, but not.
No, yeah, absolutely. You know, I love finding out when people relapse today, because it keeps it present and clear for me, like, what happened and why are you back? You know, why do you want to come back? And it's not like, oh, because I have nowhere else to go. It wasn't okay. You know, it obviously, if you're back, you know, then it makes me go, thank you for showing it to me that I don't have to go back there, because my head likes to play games going, well, what if, you know, or maybe you can handle one drink. Like, I can't.
Right. Neither can I, if that makes you happy. We are up against the Emmys tonight. It's funny because we do the show on Sunday nights. We go up against a lot of things. So we're up against the Emmys.
Yeah.
But
people are driving home from the Emmys.
Yes.
It's almost over.
And I hope they're not driving drunk.
I know. Hopefully they have drivers. There's a lot of drivers out there tonight.
There are a lot of drivers out there
For
tonight.
the Emmys, are you kidding?
Yes, that's true.
Steve Carell is like driving the limo himself.
That's not true, because I was reading an article with him, and he does something after the Emmys. He goes to he goes somewhere in town. So he just gets out of there, gets a hot dog or something. I know I was reading this story, but I can't remember the name of the place.
Pink's? Or something?
It might be Pink's.
But I don't think he drives himself.
Why not?
Well, I don't think, because they have to get out of and go into the red carpet and the whole thing. And
you don't think he gets into his Audi or into his Fiat?
Where? From where? From where? From the place that they're at?
I don't know.
No, I think he doesn't go home and change and then go.
I don't know. The number here is 877-8830-830. That's 877-8830-830. 877-8830-830 if you'd like to talk to Jennifer Gimenez and ask her any questions. And you're listening to KLEAN Radio. You can find us on Facebook at KLEAN Radio, or you can find us at KLEANradio.com. We have a lot of places to be found.
Yeah, you keep asking me if I was posting it. It's like, thank God, you know, my girlfriend and a friend of mine, helps me post these things sometimes, because, like, there's so many different links you're giving
Yes,
me.
we do have a lot of links.
Yeah.
But all the links lead back to it's like the circle of a life,
moments?
Simba. Yes. And so you do want to get back into acting. That is your goal.
I am getting back into acting. I just signed contracts with a new theatrical agent. Not only do I have, you know, I'm hosting and I'm doing other shows that are coming out, and I have done other shows since Celebrity Rehab, but I was really afraid recently to say, like, I want to live the dream. I want to act. You know, I want, you know. And if I want to go real big, like, eventually I want to get married and have kids. Like, I was so afraid of saying those things. And when I did, it brought a lot of freedom to it. And
our two video guys just got very excited. And they said they want to throw their hat in the ring.
You rolled your eyes. Like,
no, but let me ask you a question. So you acted, Blow, Sweetest Thing, all these movies were done before you got sober.
Yes. Well, I had been sober through some of the movies, believe it or not. Through Blow, I was sober.
That's a good movie to be sober through.
Yes, yes. You know, we were snorting milk thistle, and, you know, and it was supposed to be cocaine.
Right.
Good for the liver.
I've always wondered how that worked.
milk thistle is the best, they said, because it's the most. Looks like the most purest.
And you actually snorted it up your nose.
Yes, but the drainage on milk thistle is not as good.
What happens? What happens though as the milk thistle goes up your nose? What does it do? It just dissolves.
It dissolves immediately into your blood system, I
didn't know that, Patrick. Did you?
But the medics are right on set and they're right next to you. So they, when they cut, they come and they start putting Afrin and all these things.
In case you take too much thistle?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe just, for protection.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was drinking champagne the whole entire time, which was really hot apple juice that went hot. So we make it look like champagne. Yeah, it was all legit.
You were legit during blow.
Yeah, and so was.
Were you actually sober, or you just weren't drinking?
I was sober at the time. I have been in the process of recovery for like the last 14 years. So.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
and you're only 21 years old.
I am. Yeah,
I mean, that's.
Yeah, I was a kid.
And yeah, I mean, you actually have an amazingly interesting story. You were a model. You were a supermodel by the time you were like 13.
No, yeah, I was turning 14. Yeah.
Turning 14. That's pretty amazing. Where are you from?
I was born in America. My family's from Argentina. I was born here. Parents, we went back to Argentina, and they were going to name like the most popular name, which was Jennifer. And we went back, and they realized that there was more opportunity for me here, and then my little brother. So they gave up everything. They sacrificed everything for us to have a life. And all my I have some aunts and uncles and cousins here, but I have all my other family in Argentina.
Do you visit them often?
Yeah, I was there last year. I went to visit, and it was great.
Is celebrity rehab on in Argentina?
It is somewhat, not like the whole. It's interesting how their TV.
It's Celebrity Rehab Argentina?
Yeah.
Who's like a famous Argentinian?
Really?
Give me somebody.
Carlos Gardel. He's not alive anymore. He's Tango.
You have one person? I know everybody
Evita?
From Brooklyn. Evita. That's like 60 years ago. I'm talking about current, like a current famous Argentine.
Well, you have all the soccer players.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, it's like.
And steak. And.
Barrillada.
Yes.
And chimichurri. Empanadas.
Yes. So you were back in Argentina.
I went back and I actually, when I got sober, this last time, I ended up in the psych ward. And when I came to, they asked me, my mom, I was like, Mama, if I make it a year, can we go to Argentina? Ironically, I made it a year, and I ended up in Argentina, and I forgot about it till I was there. Mm-hmm. But when they saw me, I was a disaster. I mean, I don't feel like even though I'm sober and that's my sobriety date, I didn't get clear. The fog didn't lift nearly until I was about 2 years sober, and they saw me a mess. They saw me a hot mess. I was like struggling if I wanted. I feel like when you first get sober, like for me, it's like I didn't know if I want to live or die the whole entire year and a half, 2 years, and finally, you overcome that, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna do this thing called recovery, and I'll go to any lengths, and you become more clear-headed. But I ended up going last year, and I got to make amends, and it was beautiful.
That is nice.
Yeah, it was great, and I got to eat and have fun
And that's the fun in sobriety. It's pretty amazing all the stuff you've done in the last 5 years, 8 months, and some odd days. In 3 days? 3. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you've built a career. You've done all these things.
I gave it all up, though. Like, I didn't want to. I had no other choice.
They pulled you back in?
They pulled me out, but they pulled me out, and I just kept wanting to just clean up, because that's been my story. Is I clean up really well. I pretend to be whatever you want me to be, and this time they were working from the inside out, and I had to move out of LA, and it's all new. Like, I just ended a relationship, and I'm coming back to LA.
That's something I actually want to talk about when we come back from the break. Is we constantly hear, with celebrity or with people going, oh, it's too much. It's not that hard to just leave town and take a break, and it's cool that you did that. You're listening to KLEAN Radio. The number here is 877-8830-830. It's 877-830-830. We're in the studio tonight with the lovely and ravishing Jennifer, easy on the eye, Gimenez. I'm Judah. We'll be right back. You're listening to KLEAN Radio. That's KLEAN with a K.
Is your drinking getting worse? Are you taking more pills than prescribed? Do you want to quit, but quitting on your own isn't working? Call KLEAN Treatment Center at 888-601-6040. Our 24-hour staff is here to help you. You can also check us out at cleantreatmentcenter.com. That's clean with a K. Addiction is progressive. The sooner you reach out for help, the better the chances are for recovery. Call KLEAN Treatment Center today at 888-601-6040.
Now back to Clean Radio
The Sober Lifestyle Show, presented by Klean Residential Treatment Center.
on Angels Radio AM 830.
What does that mean?
That means we're back on the air, Jennifer. That's what
Mics are hot.
Yes, from Randy's Randy in the control room.
Sounds like you said Mike is hot, but Randy's hot.
Mike could be hot. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
It's very weird because I do the Judah dance, and I'm used to looking at Andrew when I'm doing it, and he's cracking up, and I'm always like waiting, but I didn't get any reaction from you with my Judah dance.
Well, the Judah thing bothers me so much. We're friends, by the way, like whoever's listening. Like, we are friends, and so it's hard for you to call you the Judah.
And you have many people following you on the tweet right now?
I do. I'm getting even texts from people saying that they're watching.
How many listeners do you actually have? How many followers on Twitter do you have?
I don't know how many followers on Twitter, but I have in total, like from the website and Facebook fan page and all that stuff, a good like 25, 30.
1,000.
Well, yeah, but because of the people emailing me and
That's pretty
whatnot.
cool. And do you answer everybody's? Do you try to answer?
So I was really happy and proud of saying like I answer every single email and blah blah blah. And lately, just because my time has been very short on being able to be on the computer, I haven't responded to all my emails on Facebook. Although last night I responded to quite like a good 600.
Wow.
Yeah.
At least you're not having somebody do it for you.
No, I do it. I have a girlfriend of mine who posts for me sometimes, like, I'll be here, like, or whatnot if I'm running around, due to the fact that I got in a car accident the other day and I won't text and drive anymore.
And when you say girlfriend, you mean girl that's a friend?
Yes. I'm currently single right now. Yeah.
So to all your loyal listeners out there and loyal followers, Jennifer, easy on the eyes, Gimenez is single. I know Patrick, our camera guy, got extremely excited. So did Randy back there in the control room.
Look at his little
But
smile.
I met Randy's girlfriend last week.
Oh, nice.
And,
Your girlfriend, I said hi. 5 girlfriends?
His wife.
Oh, wife.
His wife.
Like
and I don't look at men's, I always look to see if women are married. I don't look at men's hands.
I
to
see.
if
I
they're-
only know.
Yeah,
I
it's
look
the
at
reverse
both.
with you.
I know. I look at women's too. I want to see their ring.
So we're in the studio tonight. We're talking about sobriety. We're talking about a lot of things.
And rings.
Rings. And one of the things I think is really cool about it, because I've argued this, I've not argued with this with people, but I've said this to people. If you want to get sober, I'm so sick and tired of people saying, well, there's no anonymity. I can't go because people are going to take my pictures. We've seen some really famous people in meetings. And I'm talking famous as famous.
No, absolutely. Look, I do gotta say, like last year somebody broke.
You do gotta say?
I do gotta say.
You gotta say. Okay, then say it.
I gotta say that last year somebody broke my anonymity and like posted on the internet what I shared, and it really bothered me. And I was like talking to what I call my sponsor, mentor, whatever you want to call her. I call her a sponsor. I don't know if I'm allowed
please
to.
don't use the word mentor. It always bothers me.
Well, technically on TV things I always say, but you don't want to.
Yeah, it's a Seinfeld episode. It really ruined
Somebody else said
it was. I
something.
think it was me that said it to you. But anyways, go on.
Anyways, I was like, I'm never going to those meetings again. Like, F them, blah blah blah. And she was like, honey, those are rooms full of sick people just like you, and you gotta like just do it more in the general way. And I still don't like. Sometimes I do it in a general way, but when I go in those 12-step rooms, I'm another drunk in there.
Right.
Like, it's not about like being cute.
Has that been affected at all since you've been on Celebrity Rehab?
Absolutely.
In what ways do you find people walk up to you, or do they want your autograph on their big book? Which would be really funny.
This?
Yeah.
They say things, or you're looked at sometimes a little. It's okay. I'm the one that put myself out there. I'm the one. Sometimes there's a price to pay with that.
So you left town when you got sober.
I did. I moved out of LA and
Where?
I went to Pasadena.
That's
Which was like
town.
Egypt to me. No, but
that's
then
not
I
out of
moved.
town. That's
but then
20 minutes away.
Then it was like
You
Egypt.
made it sound like you went to like a different state. You went to
No,
Pasadena.
I did. But then I moved to Laverne, which is even farther. But you know, I thought like it was. Yeah, I'm back in LA. That's what we were talking about. Is that
No. I think it's amazing that you were able to do that, and my whole point was that you were able to find an anonymous place in Pasadena. You were able to take care of yourself and do what you needed to do.
I went to like Crenshaw meetings and stuff too. Like the people I got sober with this time, and my sponsor and the group of people, like they were like straight up like 12-steppers. Like they didn't care about who I was, who I knew, or anything like that. They cared about saving my life, and that's what they do. And it got very real. They told me to sit down a lot and shut up a lot. Which is, can you believe? Like now I, the gift of the gab.
Yes, you do have the gift of the gab.
I kind of went off for a little bit in the car, and then I went silent.
Yes, as we were listening to some mighty fine music. And the number here, by the way, for all your loyal followers to call into is 877-8830-830. That's 877-8830-830. If you have any questions for Jennifer Gimenez, who's tweeting as we talk.
Well, no, yeah.
It's great that you can multitask as you're talking to me, and I don't feel like the most important person in the room.
No, you are.
What do they ask you? What do are your fans asking? I'm just curious about that.
It's not just fans.
I'm not talking about right now. I'm talking about like
everything.
After they see Celebrity Rehab, after they see that stuff, because you really are putting yourself out there more than most people ever will.
Well, yeah. I mean, I get very invested moment to moment, and I get, especially with you're watching people struggling with their life. Like, they're trying to save their life. This isn't. It's about life and death. It's not like, oh, I just want to look cute. I mean, they're dying. So I get very invested, and I become, even on Celebrity Rehab this season, they were calling me Mama. And all of them, I think, or a lot of them.
Or Puddles. I'm joking, because you cry a lot. And
Stop! I've been crying a lot lately. I'm going through things.
No, go on.
I didn't cry completely in the car. I just got teary-eyed because of Angel Stadium.
Because I want our Barbara Walters moment, and I think there is a very special story you have with Angel Stadium, is with your talk.
Yeah,
I know
well,
we broadcast out of Angel Stadium,
which is really cool, being in like the VIP section of the stadium.
Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful studio, and you have a story here with your.
Okay, so I love sports, and the last time I came to a baseball game was with my father, and you're not gonna get it. And we came here, and at that point he had told me, I was just getting recently sober at another time, and he said, you know that A&A thing you do, and I was like, yeah, and he's like, well, I did it too. And I was like, really? And he told me his story. And he goes, I could sponsor you if you want.
This is at an Angel game?
On the way here and on the way out. And so we sat there at the game, and we did the ninth inning song, and is that it?
No, there's no ninth inning.
Seventh inning. And I have
you
not
guys
watched.
were both drunk. You sang in the ninth inning. But anyways, go on.
I have not watched a game since then. And
an Angel game or a baseball game?
Any baseball game. So that, he was like, I believe you can do it, and I could sponsor you. And I was like, no, Daddy, it's okay. I think I can stick with a woman. And we shared a lot that day, and we shared here, like in the stadium. And a few months later, he was with his girlfriend. He was 47, and he was talking about my brother and I. And he said, the last words he said was, my little girl, she's a woman now. My little Jenny's a woman. And he turned and hugged his girlfriend, and he died just like that. So coming here was a big deal. Like you told me it was, you told me it's going to be a different location. So
I'm sorry.
And then I saw the stadium, and I was like, yeah.
So you haven't watched the baseball game since?
No, I try not to, although I did work with Doc Gooden on the show.
That's pretty cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, he said we could call him if you wanted.
We might be doing that during the break, calling one of my heroes as a child.
Yeah, he's an angel. I actually
and he was on Celebrity Rehab. He is on Celebrity.
And he is still doing really well, which is such a great story to say.
He's actually one of the reasons. What's amazing is he's one of the reasons for this show was, and I guess I'll tell him this if we get a hold of him, was because I always wondered what he did the night he pitched the no-hitter. And I mean, I found out maybe later he wasn't exactly sober, but I was always curious, like, if you're sober and you did it, what did you do after? How did you celebrate? And I was always curious to ask Dwight Gooden that.
Wait, how did he celebrate?
You know, it's like when people, after they win the World Series and there's champagne going around, or you win, you pitch a perfect hitter.
Story. I don't know if I can share it, but it's one of the most incredible stories I've ever heard in my life. I mean, we shed a lot of tears together, believe it, Puddles. We did. You know, he broke through in there, and he trusted me. And that was such a gift, you know, that this man was trusting in me, and I was like, let's get to some work then, you know, and he dug deep. And I know what that's like. I was so willing, and I still continue to be willing today. I'm willing to be happy. I'm willing to be married. I'm willing to be, you know, just the bliss of life, you know, I mean.
Well, I think that's what scares people more than anything, is being authentic, is being open. And I think that terrifies people. I mean, both of us are lucky that we weren't married before we got sober. But it's probably a lot scarier for people that are married and they want to get sober. And you might realize, you might wake up one day and see what's really going on around you.
Well, I think that, you know, I always say this, is that I go to bed with myself and I wake up with myself. Doesn't matter how many people are in a bed with me or how many people are not. From what I've heard,
no. I'm going.
And you're such a dork.
You can't curse, yes.
I know. No, I'm very aware of that, but I can get you back. But they, you know, I know who I am. And, like, I knew who I was, too, when I was out there using. Like, I had that. Even when the drugs and alcohol wore down, like, I felt that, you know, and I don't think it matters if you're married or not. I mean, I can only imagine it must be a little harder, but I think that today, even though there's been awareness brought up there, you know, sometimes that saying, like, ignorance is bliss, is like, I just want to shake people, you know, because there is a disease, you know, and people think, oh, you know, an alcoholic is someone on the streets and in a cardboard box. Well, maybe sometimes, but it's also like politicians. I mean, it's someone in Minnesota. It's everywhere.
They have a lot of rehabs there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Minnesota used to be called the land of like 10,000 beds.
Oh.
Because all the rehabs were out there.
I didn't know that.
You see, you just learned something new right now.
Thank you. Yeah.
Are you again tweeting as you're talking to me?
No, I'm playing with the sticker.
So we missed the Barbara Walters moment because you got past your father's story, and I think that's an amazing story. And I think it's amazing that it happened here at Angel Stadium.
It is. I'll tell you something, you know, a lot of times people are like, I can't get sober or I can't do this because, you know, I lost my father or this person or I have to do this. I'll do it after. And, you know, today I get to honor my father and I get to overcome things and I get to just feel feelings, and feelings aren't facts, which is such a gift. What people do ask me out there, though, is how do you do it? How do you just stay stopped for today? Or how did you lose the weight? How did you come out?
That's a good question. And Sober House, you were a little heavier.
257 pounds heavier.
One second. No, you were 257 pounds heavier than
well, no, not now. I mean, you know what I mean. I was 257 pounds. I weighed at the time.
Right.
I've lost 125 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, naturally not. You know, people are like, oh, she did the gastro bypass or some surgery. And I'll tell you, if I had the money, I would have done it. I would have done all of it. I did it. It's not my story. And this week, actually, I'm coming out in Star Magazine in Bikini Story.
Do they have a before and after shot?
Yes, they do. And Radar Online and stuff, they're doing these stories. And I got to tell you that
Is
morning.
Is there a picture of you in a bikini at 257?
Yes.
Did you realize you were 257 when you took the bikini?
I was in such denial. Like, when I was a supermodel, like, I've been on every cover all over the world. I've done every fashion show. Like, and I would look in the mirror and I'd see an elephant. Like, I would see this is
when you were like 100 and change.
Yeah, I was,
Max.
hanging on to walls.
Right.
And I was in denial then. And then when I got heavy, I was in denial. I was like, I remember when I turned 2, I was trying to put on a dress and I was like, it must have shrunk. Like, what happened? And I went on the scale and it said 257, or I think it said like 258 maybe or something. And I was like, broken. How did it break? Like, I just like was in such denial. And I couldn't take a good look in the mirror. Like, it was too much, too real for me.
Were you just eating a lot? You were obviously.
Yes, but I was also on medication at the time. I also went through some other struggles.
That's an interesting thing to talk about, because I think a lot of people's fears with the medicine is the side effects.
Yes, but you know, I was on medication. That's not the only reason why I gained weight. I was actually very ill. I actually didn't know how to feel. Like, I remember in groups that they'd say, like, how do you feel? And I'd be like, I don't know. How do you want me to feel? Tell me and I'll do it. Happy?
Right.
Oh, look at me. I'm happy. You know, and you know, I was a smart, I can't say the S word, can I?
Yeah, I think you can. Yes, Randy in there is saying.
Okay,
you
I was a
smart
ass back then, you know, and you know, I didn't know what feelings were, so yeah, I did eat, and then I actually had I was pregnant with a dead baby in me, and so I went through that whole thing, and I only say that out loud today because there's women out there that don't know how to go through it.
1 second, let's get back. You were pregnant with a dead baby, and for how long?
I had a miscarriage at 2 months, and then at 2.5 months later, I was still carrying.
That's intense.
Yeah, so my body went into shock.
And did you know?
Yeah. I knew something was wrong. I didn't know it was still in you know.
Right.
I didn't know there was still complications.
You have like the variety pack of a story.
It gets deeper, but I was able to overcome that, and that protected me. Like that weight, I'm so grateful. At one point, when I began the process of losing weight, I looked in the mirror and I said, thank you. And I looked directly inside, you know, my own eyes through the mirror, and I said, thank you so much for the weight. Like, thank you, weight. You protected me from the world.
Until you were ready.
Yes,
to
but
face
then
it.
but what I realized then was that that weight protected me from me. You know, because God only knows what could have happened. If I cleaned up quick this last time, I don't know if I'd be alive.
Well, it's sort of like what you said. You're so happy you didn't have the money for the gastric, because like this, you've actually really had to work your butt off.
Literally,
right, literally and figuratively. And I mean, that's a pretty amazing thing.
Yeah, and I say these stories not for people to feel sorry for me, but for other women and, you know, men who struggle with other things, not pregnancy, but like other things, you know, and that you can overcome it. I really believe that I'm more than just a sober girl. Like you know, I've transformed a lot, and I've seen countless others all over do the same thing.
No, it's pretty amazing. I mean, as a guy, I've struggled with weight issues too, and I think for a guy, it was really hard to talk about, because it's not like one of those things you just, you know, you're like in Brooklyn, you're going, hey, but you know, hey, bro, you know, I think I'm eating too much.
Yeah.
And it's very hard. I think so I think it is very cool what you're doing, because even if people are at home sitting there listening or watching Celebrity Rehab or watching Sober House, or even listening to this show, maybe they can say, I need help.
Yeah. Or I think that the biggest thing you must do, or that it happens, is that you acknowledge that you have a problem, in whatever problem it is. You know, and it doesn't have to be drugs or alcohol. Like, you know what, I have a problem. And then that's right there is your acceptance, you know, with taking it to the next level, and the rest is up to you. And I just remember, like, even when I got sober this last time, because I had been in and out of the rooms, I thought, like, how am I going to do this? And, you know, when my girlfriend and my mom came to me and said, you need to go to treatment, I thought, that's for losers. You know, meanwhile, I'm, like, jaw disconnected, like,
right.
Just a mess.
It's amazing what we think.
Yeah, and I went into treatment, and it worked. And I felt so protected there. For the first time in my life, I was safe. You know, I had people telling me to get up, to go to the bathroom, to eat, to sleep, to, you know, do whatever.
You have some really amazing stories with Dr. Drew. I don't know if you could share them on the air, what you used to do to try to get him to pay attention.
Well, I wanted attention, and I was good at manipulating and getting my ways. But I was on a train of thought.
I don't know, but I was thinking about the Dr. Drew story. You told me a few of the things you would do to get his attention, and he would just ignore you.
He likes to tell the stories too, though. He does. So it's not like it wasn't.
Are we allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about Dr. Drew. I love him today. Like he's amazing.
No, that story.
Oh, because you were telling me earlier, like.
No. I was. You told me certain things you did to shock him, and he was never shocked.
I wanted reactions. Like I was good then at getting reactions, and the louder I screamed, the scarier people got around me, and or the more scared people got around me. I ended up showing them my boobs and asking them to squeeze my breast to see if I had cancer, because I thought I had. I didn't think. I just wanted a reaction. I wanted him to, like, say something, or, you know, turn red or do something.
Or even probably say, get out of here.
Yeah, like I just wanted something. He just gave me that little side pout thing. He looked at me, and there's always a nurse in the room.
Right.
So Sasha was in the background just kind of giggling, and he always says, like, I remember chairs, like I threw him a chair, and like one time my brother had come in, you know, because they told my mom in detox I may not make it through detox, and my brother's in Iraq.
Do you mean as far as
make it through? Like I may die.
Oh.
Like I mean, I was in seizures. I was the whole full package.
Yes, you are the variety pack. So her name isn't anymore Jennifer Easy on the Eyes Gimenez. It's Jennifer Variety Pack Gimenez.
No, don't say that.
Okay, Jennifer Easy on the Eyes Gimenez.
No, I'll just say Jen.
Jen. Okay.
Anyways.
Were you actually going to throw your lips
on
me? Okay, thank you very kindly. By the way, you're listening to Clean Radio. The number here is 877-8830-830. That's 877-8830-830. We're in the studio tonight. Mine is Andrew, but we're here with our beautiful and ravishing co-host, Jennifer Gimenez, from such shows like Celebrity Rehab and Sober House. So if you have any questions, give us a call at 877-8830-830. Yeah.
You said it right. I'm so proud of you.
I do. I mean, the first couple of weeks that we were in the studio, it really took me a while to be able to say it.
The first couple of times right now.
I'm never actually staring at this. I'm usually staring at the number. This is a different seat for me. This is Andrew's seat, and I'm usually where you're sitting, and I'm feeling a little
change.
It is. I asked. Patrick actually usually stands on that side of the room, and I said to him, "Can you stand over there?" so I could feel a little bit just staring.
Just jump. Believe the net's gonna catch.
I don't believe the net's gonna catch.
You know what? Really, Mr. Don't get involved in the drama of stuff.
I do actually believe the net. I do believe the net's going to catch. I actually am a huge believer in everything's going to be okay. I was sharing the other day, and I said, I mean, that is one of my biggest beliefs is that everything is going to be okay.
You told me, remember when I called you and I said, I just can't take it. Judah's one of my confidants, and so I was like, I just can't take it. I mean, really, I have cried a lot the last few months. And you said, change, when you feel uncomfortable, it means you're changing, and that's a good place to be.
Well, it's sort of like the gym. I mean, I hate using these cliche analogies. You go to the gym, you work out. I mean, Lord knows, I don't do sit-ups anymore, but I've done them in my life. As you could see, I don't really do many sit-ups. But I, when you do as an alcoholic, we'll do 300 sit-ups. And then we tear every muscle in our stomach. So the next day we could barely move, and we never do a sit-up again. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing with change is it hurts. Mm-hmm. It's and they used to say that to me when I was getting newly sober. This guy Brian used to say to me all the time, you know why you're in pain? Because you're changing, you're growing, and that's why you're in pain. You're fighting the change. You're fighting, and he would just scream this stuff at me.
That's what you were doing to me the other night.
Yes, and that's I mean everything I ever spew is stuff. Thank God I've heard people say to me. So but we are going to take a break. You're listening to Clean Radio. The number here is 877-8830-830. That's 877-8830-830. We might have Dwight Gooden on tonight.
I should text him right now.
That would be really cool. If you could do that, Jen, everybody in the studio would give you a big hug.
Let me call him.
Well, you're listening to Clean Radio. We'll be back in a second.
With the record selection and the mirror's reflection, I'm a dancing with myself.
Addiction is any behavior you cannot stop that results in destructive consequences. Are you struggling with an addiction to drugs or alcohol? Are you ready to take control of your life? The treatment advisors at Klean Treatment Center are here to help. Call us today at 888-601-6040. That's 888-601-6040. You can also check us out at KleanTreatmentCenter.com. That's clean with a K. The sooner you reach out for help, the sooner your new life begins.
Do you or someone you know need help overcoming addictive disorders? Call us now at 8778-830-830 or log on to KleanWithAK, KleanRadio.com.
Clean Radio on Angels Radio AM 830 is presented by Klean Residential Treatment Center, a dynamic and professional addiction treatment facility.
Now it's back to Andrew and Judah.
Hello. Welcome back to Clean Radio. Andrew's voice has gone down a couple octaves.
Yes. Or up.
Up.
Wait,
I've always been
really?
confused with that, by the way, when it's like Andrew was in Oregon last week, so I was like, how is it down there? And then I was like, how is it up there? I never know. I am so bad with geography. So I never know octaves up, octaves down. Although I do know the difference between nearsighted and farsighted. But the only reason I do know that is because I have glasses.
Can
Yes.
you not see at all?
I have a hard time seeing. I've had glasses a long, long time.
How long?
Since I'm 13 years old.
Did you wear braces? Because you've got good teeth.
Yes, I had braces.
I didn't wear braces, but my teeth are tiny.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with braces.
No, I know, but I was just wondering.
That would be
as a
like
kid with-
extensions, if you had teeth extensions. But
I did get a little extension one time, and like they came off real quick. Didn't work. It's uncomfortable.
What extension? Teeth extensions?
Yes.
We were actually sharing this funny story in the car ride over that I share often. Is I went on a. This is years ago. I was dating this girl, and I don't want to say her name because she.
Well, you were saying it out loud in the car.
Oh, I was saying it out loud in the car just because I've always been fascinated by her name. Her name was Nikki, and that was her real name. Her name was Nikki. It wasn't short for Nicole. Anyways, one time we were, since my mother listens to this show, I was, I had my arm around her and I had my hand in her hair. That's the PG version of the story, and I felt like fake hair, and I was like pretty newly sober at the time, and I thought she had cancer. I thought she had. I thought, oh my God, she lost her hair. She needed these hair extensions. I probably dated her an extra couple months till somebody told me hair extensions aren't for people with just cancer. I grew up in Brooklyn. It's like I didn't know people had hair extensions, and I was fascinated by this. I mean, it felt gross because you were sharing me in the car today that you had hair extensions.
Well, yeah, I had a thing in, and I'm like, I wanted to pull it off, and it's not extension. It's just the clip thing for the thing that I was doing earlier. Thanks a lot.
Is that lanyard in your hair right now?
Huh?
Lanyard, this you never.
It's my hair.
No, the yellow stuff on the side.
No, it's earrings. I'm wearing feathers.
Oh, okay.
How cute are they?
It's very cute. Your earrings tonight.
I never normally wear like long feather things.
That's...
Anyways, we were talking about that, and it just reminded me. Like, I laugh at some of the stories you tell me. Like, they kill me, actually. Like, I'll be driving and just start laughing out loud.
Well, I think for me, like I always talk about, in a sense, for me, it's like when I got sober, so much of the world was new to me. And it's like I really was, like I use the word rube a lot. I was a rube. Like I was like this southerner. I was like, oh my God, that I could think like that. There are these different things in the world. I was from Brooklyn, even though I had lived all over. I'd lived in Israel, I'd lived in Florida. So one of the amazing things about getting sober to me was that the world was opening up. Mm-hmm. And I think that terrifies a lot of people, and they don't get sober because they're scared of the world opening up.
Feelings come in place,
right.
and it gets real. And then how do you cope? Like, how do you, staying stopped, that's the scariest thing.
Yes.
But, like, how do you cope? Like, I have a group of people, like I use you, like, I mean, like the people that I feel the closest to, I don't care. Like you even said today, like, I don't ask questions. Like, you ask so many questions. Like, I was taught to ask questions because, I learned on my own. I didn't go to school. Like, I went to school 2 months out of the year in high school. I learned through life experiences.
Right.
I can speak 4 languages, but I didn't learn it in school. So I today ask questions.
No, the questions I meant I don't ask. I never like to ask people, are you still sober? Because I absolutely drives me crazy when people ask me that question, or they say, how long are you sober?
Are you still in a relationship?
Or how long are you sober? Or any of that stuff. Because it's like, if you want to tell me, you're going to tell me. And I think people are safer to tell you instead of, cause, I'm sober almost 13 years. I'll 13 years October 1st. Holla, yeah, next week.
Oh my gosh.
And they're 2 weeks. And
Happy birthday.
There are times where I don't go to meetings, or I won't go to the same meetings, and I have people at the time like giving me that like stare. Are you really sober? I haven't seen you in a meeting in a while. Are you really still here? And it's like, even if I wasn't, I'd feel so comfortable right now, to tell you, because you gave me that look.
Yeah. Well, no, it's the other day, speaking of like people, are you still sober? Like, I tweeted, like, I just couldn't take it anymore. I was like, I just felt like I was either gonna go postal, have a nervous breakdown, or just like collapse from exhaustion. And I posted like, God grant me, God grant me, God grant me. And people asked what happened. I said, I'm just burnt. Like, I'm burnt. I'm spent. Like, and they're like, is everything okay? And the tiptoes go around. Even with my family, God bless them. Like, if I'm in a mood, they're like, Jenny's not doing good. And it's like, no, I'm just going through something. I'm having a moment. And
that's a huge reason they have Al-Anon, which not enough families go to, is because they're not used to the change. They start to see their alcoholic son, daughter, uncle, father getting better, and it's very uncomfortable.
It's funny, my mom actually called Dr. Drew when I was newly sober, and she was like, I thought I was going to get my Jenny back. And he was like, honey, you didn't say honey, but he was like, you're not going to get your Jenny back. Like, you're going to get a Jennifer who's no longer drinking. but you're going to get the girl with a lot of issues and a lot of feelings and a lot of anger.
I think that's terrifying to people, and that's why I was talking about the thing with marriage. So many times people, they want their spouse to get sober, but I think part of them is scared to death because who is their spouse? They might get sober and wake up and go, who are you?
Well, they're in the disease with them.
Right.
You know, like, I mean, anyone who I ever have loved in my life, but whether it being friends, family, whoever, like, they were in the disease with me, you know, and I took them down, you know, and we danced a dance. Like, today, you know, thank God Al-Anon did not come knocking to my mom's door. Like, I would have lost it. She decided to do it afterwards. And, you know, it's cute. After I ended a relationship a couple of months before, she was like, if you're staying at my house, you cannot drink, you know. And I was like,
did she give you a curfew too?
No, well, she tried. I was like, really, lady, like, really, like, I not only, you know, I'm like Miss Recovery chick right now, but I do got to check it, you know. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm in my 30s, lady. I'm not gonna give you
You're in your 30s?
Yeah, I mean 20s.
Time has been good to you.
But yeah, no, I have to, you know, it's a daily reprieve. It really is. But like, I was like, you know, my mom gets to set boundaries, and if I was staying there, I had to, you know, follow her quote unquote rules. I'm not there anymore.
No, but that's an important thing, because I think a lot of times when people get sober, they're like, you know, no matter what age, you don't want to have to listen to rules. But, you know, at a certain point, we've done so much damage that if we're living with somebody or we're dating somebody, their trust of us is not going to be very high.
No, I don't believe that trust just comes.
Right.
I don't. I'm
it
not.
Takes a long time.
Yeah, I mean, my trust has been betrayed my whole entire life. But I do believe,
because I constantly hear this, and I'm sure you have too, when you're doing a celebrity or so. Her house is like, when are they going to believe me? You know, how come they don't believe me?
When your actions start speaking.
Right. No, but I'm
than
saying
words.
it's like you've done damage for 30 years, you're sober 2.5 minutes, and you're expecting everybody to go, oh my God, aren't you the greatest? I believe you. Come back home. Here's a key.
No, the best one is, and I'm one of them that did that. Like, when I got sober, I'd be like, Mom, I'm really sorry.
Right.
I'm so sorry for everything, you know. And it's like, really sorry is just one word.
I'm
it's
sorry
just a
for
word.
putting you through Haiti.
Yeah, I will not do it again, you know. And this time around, they were like, just shut up.
Right.
Like, no, not saying a word, no sorries this time. Your actions are going to speak. And then you get to make an amends. What's been great, though, with my mom is when I did that, you know, thing that we do in these step things. And I say to her, you know, I was wrong for the things I've done. And, you know, is there anything else I've not said or didn't know about that you want to talk about, you know, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, the list just went on, like, and she just, like, had this long sheet of things, like, to tell me, and I just had to sit there all loving and, you know, cringing deep down inside and listen.
So here's a question. Has anybody ever seen the show and then remembered you doing something to them? Like, have you ever had to make an amends because somebody saw the show and they're like, that's the girl that stole $20,000 from me?
Well, considering I never stole $20,000 from anyone, thank God.
That's the girl that stole a churro from me.
No.
Really?
Thanks for bringing that up, because now I'm going to get, like, people are going to be like, do you remember?
Because that's like everybody that gets sober's biggest fear is like, I mean, even though it's the most irrational thing that they're going to get famous, and then like somebody will see them on the Tonight Show and go, that's not Judah. That guy told me in Israel he was the first Jewish quarterback to play for Notre Dame.
No, I mean, it was pretty, you know, no. I think, you know, I used to, like, say, like, I didn't hurt anyone, I hurt myself. Like, but no, I was hurting everyone around me. I'm trying to think if, I haven't had that. Although I've had, as soon as I ended this relationship months ago, I kept running into exes, and like literally I ran into somebody, like we hit each other coming out of the gym, and it was great to make an amends. I made an amends to all my boyfriends that I know of.
Well, that's what I was curious about. If you got any like boyfriends going, don't you remember me?
No.
Or girlfriends. And the number here is 877-8830-830. And you're listening to KLEAN Radio. We're in the studio.
Not so clean.
It's clean with a K. And that's wherein lies the major difference. And we're talking about a lot of good stuff tonight. We're talking about life after you get sober, and there's nobody better to talk to that with than Jennifer. Good on the Gimenez, who's
you can say
Jennifer Gimenez, who's managed to live an amazing life for the last 5 years, 8 months, and 3 days.
Oh yeah, you remember the 3 days.
I did remember the 3 days. You're listening to KLEAN Radio. Give us a call at 877-8830-830. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Oh, it's like 80s music, like you're.
Do you you suspect a loved one is abusing drugs? Call KLEAN Treatment Center at 888-601-6040 for a free drug test and consultation. A treatment advisor is available to help you administer the test and answer any questions you may have regarding treatment and more. We are here to help. Call us today at 888-601-6040 or find us online at KleanTreatmentCenter.com for your free drug test and the start of a promising future.
Welcome to KLEAN Radio on Angels Radio AM 830.
The Sober Lifestyle Show presented by KLEAN Residential Treatment Center, a dynamic and professional addiction treatment facility.
KLEAN Radio features celebrity and professional interviews covering a wide range of topics. If you or someone you know is in need of assistance in dealing with addictive disorders, call us now at 877-830-830 or go to KLEANradio.com. Now your hosts for KLEAN Radio, Andrew and Judah.
Hello. Welcome, everyone. I don't sound like Andrew.
No, you don't sound like Andrew, and you're listening to KLEAN Radio. This is Judah in the studio tonight with the lovely and vivacious Jennifer Gimenez from shit shows like Celebrity Rehab.
Like what?
What?
What'd you say? What kind of shows?
Like such shows as clean as Sober House and whatever other show you're on.
Are you nervous?
No, not at all. You're the one that's nervous. You
No,
misunderstood.
I'm just
It's my
moving.
Brooklyn accent.
I'm not nervous.
I love
I'm
how
not
you're
even
trying to make yourself all look pretty for the live stream because you have so many. You actually have tons of people that are following you and listening to you. Which
I
is,
am getting tweets about
You're
it
getting
right
tweets and they're saying how horrible I am, how great you
now.
are.
No one said that drama.
But
I
they're
was
thinking.
joking.
They're thinking that. They're
Okay,
thinking that.
Really, Mr.
Yes.
Insecure?
I think about what people say. We have so many people
I thought we're
coming
not
in.
supposed to worry about that.
We
That's
have
you were
some-
giving me this whole entire conversation.
We have somebody else came in the control room just to see you.
Who?
And I'm joking.
Oh.
Yes, you're listening to KLEAN Radio, a show about recovery, addiction, and all that good jazz.
And overcoming
overcoming it,
things
yeah.
and staying sober.
Overcoming life, yes, and the problems.
You know, I thought it was going to get so much easier after a certain period, and it just gets more real.
It does.
Like, and then it gets easy. And I remember for a while I'd call my son like, everything's fine. She's like, oh, and I'd be like, everything's really fine. I don't think I need to call you anymore. And she'd say, honey, this too shall pass. And
it's called life.
it is called life.
And it's something alcoholics, and I mean, my favorite commercial as a kid was the Toys R Us commercial because I really wanted to be a Toys R Us kid. I didn't want to grow up. I just wanted to walk around Toys R Us and just never grow up. My father used to say, you have Peter Pan syndrome. And yes, do you know what that is? Mm-hmm. Yes, stop staring at me. And
I'll do what I do.
Okay, and the number here, I'm going to say it slower.
Please.
877-830-830. That's 877-830-830. You're listening to KLEAN Radio. We're in the studio, like I said. You can find us at Facebook at KLEAN Radio, and we actually have a caller from Morristown, Tennessee.
I have a feeling it's one of my brats.
We've never had a caller from Morristown, so holla on the Morristown, Tennessee. We go to Debbie.
Deb.
Hey, Debbie. You're listening to KLEAN Radio.
Is this my Southern Belle deleter?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, baby. How are you doing?
How are you tonight, Debbie?
She can break my heart.
I'm hanging right now. I want to say how much I respect Jennifer. She is the main reason I got sober 351 days. And I have to say she is probably the only person as of right now, as I'm in full-blown relapse, that is still standing beside me. And I just owe her so much gratitude. It's unreal to think that someone who doesn't know you and lives across the country can actually help you through what you're going through, and will still stand there when you're struggling.
And so when is your sober date's October 2nd?
She's in.
No, I had September would have been my year, September 9th, and I relapsed.
That's okay.
It is okay. That's what I told her.
And what are you doing about it? Are you trying again?
Not so far, I haven't. I'm still in full-blown addiction.
And, you know, I told you this yesterday in an email on Facebook. Like, you are loved no matter what, you know, and you have to remember that. You are so loved, Debbie.
And what are you going? And what's Debbie going to do about trying to get some help? What are we going to do for her?
I have actually talked about going into treatment, which my parents have had a fit. They are very discouraging against it because my mom she's like, I don't think you need to be locked up to help with your problem. You should just be able to quit. And I've been in full-blown addiction for 27 years. I can't just quit. I've tried.
What is your thing? What is your poison?
Pain pills and recently discovered alcohol. I never was a cross addict until I haven't been able to get a hold of my DLC,
right?
Which I have now turned to alcohol.
And that actually, Debbie, that actually might be a good thing in helping you get sober, because now you know that you're basically addicted to anything you touch.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to so many people that come in that have just done drugs and they say, well, alcohol's not a problem.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know through Debbie and I have been corresponding through Facebook for a long time. And, you know, I feel like I've sat with you, Debbie, in bathtubs with you as you were like emailing me and whatnot. And like to have seen you like reach out to me that's the strength, you know, like you have so much strength that you are not aware of, and so much courage, you know, and to get honest, like right now, to get honest in front of so many people,
a national audience.
Yeah, it's like, it's amazing, babe. Like I say this, I know you, and then she responds like with little nasty emails back and forth, like sometimes, and then I just like, you know, try to give love back, but you know, she says like, you don't understand, like it's, you know, I don't want to get better, but I know that you do want to get better, because you would not be emailing me of all people.
Right, you wouldn't be calling us.
Right now.
Right now, that would be purely masochistic behavior if you were.
Well, I think the biggest thing is I just owe Jennifer such a huge apology, because I have, for the last 3.5 weeks, been extremely nasty to her, and it's like the one person that tells me that she loves me and is still standing here. I'm determined to completely push her out of my life, and it's the meanest thing. And I mean, I feel horrible after I do it, and then I'm thinking, you know, what does she really care anyway?
No, but I do care. I have fallen for her. Like, I do care. And, like, I have seen the well Debbie as much as I've seen, as well as I've seen the sick Debbie. But, like, I've seen the well Debbie, and, like, you're so amazing, babe. Like, you have so much to offer the world and yourself, more importantly. Like, screw everyone else at this point. Like, you have so much to offer yourself. And I promise you, like, I've been in those places where, like, I've relapsed, and I'm like, who cares? And I'm just so mean to everyone around me, and it's because I'm scared. And, like, no one would tell me, like, I love you no matter what. And I believe that you can overcome this. Like, I kid you not, and I've said this to you before, like, if I can overcome it, anybody can. You know, and you know, at times, like, my mom's like, why do you still need to go to those meetings? And now I'm like, lady, you want me to go to those meetings. You really want me.
I haven't been to a meeting in forever.
How do you guys meet each other?
My biggest thing is I talked to someone on Twitter the other night, and they're like, you know, you'll die if you don't get better. And my thing is, I'm not afraid to die.
You're afraid to live.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I'm scared to death to stay clean. It's just I never thought it would be so hard to stay clean, and my biggest thing is I don't have a problem with drugs and alcohol. I have a problem with staying clean.
Well, you have a problem with life.
Yeah.
I have a huge problem with life.
Well, Debbie, what are you going to... Do you want to get help?
Most definitely. My Lord, I'm so sick of this crap that I put myself through and people around me through. I mean, it's not fair to them.
Okay, wait. Forget them. What about you? Is there a glimpse of you inside?
I'm extremely miserable. I want to get better.
So, okay.
It's just, I don't know. I'm such a procrastinator.
Are you willing to go to treatment, Debbie?
Most definitely.
And when would you be ready to go?
I'd pack my bags tonight if I could.
I think it's time to start packing your bags, because I think it's time that you start to get help, Debbie. And I'm not just saying that. I think one of the things we're going to try to do tonight is figure out a way for you to get into a treatment program. Hopefully that'll be clean. We are a treatment program too.
Are you kidding me?
No, we'll try to figure something out with Debbie.
Are you kidding me right now?
Well, I'm not kidding you.
Okay,
We're going to try to figure out a way for, you know, Debbie to have her bags packed and hopefully get on a plane. And
that's so
we're having our Barbara Walters moment with Jennifer Gimenez on the air. And not fully, not until Debbie actually checks into a facility.
Oh.
And so we're going to put you on hold, and we're going to get... Well, Jennifer has all your info.
Do you understand? No, I don't. Do you understand what's going on, Deb?
Yeah.
We're going to try to figure out something where Debbie could get into treatment, and, you know, where you pack your bags and you get help. And, you know, you want to get help, Debbie, right?
No, I sure do. More than anything.
And you're allowed to be as mad at Jen as you want, because Jen could take it. You could scream at her as much as you want. And usually, and I always say this to people, Debbie, it's the people that fight it the most are the ones that actually get sober. The people that scare me, that always in the beginning when they're trying to get sober say, I'm really happy and I want to get help, I am always a little scared of them. And, you know, people like you that are struggling or, you know, get sober. And I have no idea where Morristown, Tennessee is, by the way.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
I think I love you. I love you.
She's talking to you, Debbie. And you got Jennifer
Gimenez. I love you.
You got Jennifer crying on a national radio show. We're going to put you on hold, Debbie. And
just stay on, baby.
Stay on, and the lovely and talented Randy will take you down to your info. And we'll try and do our best to figure something out for you that you can get help, okay?
I appreciate it.
I promise you, we're not going to let you fall through the system. And it's amazing that you called in tonight, and you want to get help. So hold on, Deb.
Definitely.
Okay, hold on, and Randy will
love you, honey.
Get all your info.
Wow.
You see, that's amazing, and I think I just did that right. I think I just did the phone thing correctly, actually. I'm very proud of myself.
Debbie, again, like I correspond with people on all my sites, and I have relationships with people, and I help, and then, you know, we have relationships. I mean, I know that there's a desire in her, and really that's the requirement.
Well, I mean, let's think about it in a few ways. I mean, which is pretty amazing is that it is a woman in Morristown, Tennessee that is watching Celebrity Rehab or watching Sober House, finds you, goes to Facebook, friends you, starts corresponding with you, is in the middle of all these things.
I walked her into her first meeting via
which is absolutely amazing. I mean, and it just goes to show you that these shows do have an impact, even if it's just Debbie. And I know there are a lot more Debbies out there. They're all tweeting you right now, and that's a pretty amazing story. And look what you've done. You've helped a woman in Morristown, Tennessee, and we're going to try to figure out a way for her to, get some help. Thanks. Well, don't thank me. Thank Debbie, and I don't like to be thanked. You know that.
God, you and feelings. Like, hi,
Yes, me and feelings.
I was like doing this in the car and like touching his hand, and he was just like giving me this weird look. Yeah. Does your girlfriend ever call in?
My girlfriend does not call in. She's
she's. Why do you get all like you just?
No, my girlfriend is scared to talk on the phone on the radio, and so she is one of the most loyal listeners. She's only missed one show.
She's a beauty. I saw a picture and you got really uncomfortable. You're like, you want damn.
Yes, my girlfriend is a beautiful woman.
You're turning red.
An amazing photographer.
Do you see the red?
You know what it is? Because I like to keep, I am like one of those, I like to keep my conversation, it's like, I've always been like that.
What?
I go to therapy for months. When I start dating a girl, I don't even refer to her by name. I'm like, yeah, the chick I'm dating.
You still won't tell me her name.
Her name, well, you saw her picture. Her name is Melissa. She's a beautiful girl
She's living. A beauty.
She is a beauty, and everybody, it's like, I know how people feel now because I have like 7 beautiful nieces and nephews, and I always used to go to my sister, how are your kids so cute? And I am constantly being asked this question, how did you get this girl? And I'm like, what kind of, thank you so much. That's such a lovely statement that you're basically saying, how did you, Mr. Ugly, get this hot chick? And I always say, ladies love the Judy, you know that. Mm-hmm. And yes, so we take our favorite call, by the way, we're in the studio tonight with Jennifer Gimenez, and I really want to thank you for coming down. The number here is 877-8830-830. That's 877-8830-830. You might recognize Jennifer from a ton of things. I mean, you've been basically in the public spotlight in one form or another since you're 13, 14.
Yeah, I have. It wasn't something I like. It just happened. It happened overnight. It was. I was found on Santa Monica Pier, and I was.
Don't worry, you keep talking.
I was with. You know what? You need to look here.
Yes.
I was with.
Usually, like women get upset when you're like, staring just at an appendage. You're just upset that I'm not. There's other stuff going on in the studio.
Yeah, I know.
So
well, there's
on,
a lot of stuff going on behind me too, but I'm staring right here.
Okay.
So I was discovered, and it just, my life changed overnight. Like, I was a little girl, like, didn't know what sex was, and I was selling sex for a living, and it wasn't porn or anything like that. It was modeling, and when I look back at these pictures, like, there's pictures in L and whatnot, like, I'm, like, on my hands and knees, and my head's back, and, I'm doing all these things with women, and I was, like, they called me, like, the little Lolita for a while, and I didn't know what I was doing, but that was my life.
I'm staring at you. Stop.
You are not. You're lying.
Yes, I
now
am.
You're lying. Don't lie.
I'm staring at you. I have two eyes. Okay, one eye could be focused on you, and one eye could be focused on Randy. And yes, so I think that is an amazing. So you basically have been in the public spotlight, in the public eye the whole entire time, and naked. And what I mean by that is, when you're a model at the age of 14, that's gotta be. I can't imagine. You're naked.
No, I know.
And
I
it's
know.
like now you've had two forms of nudity. And I'm talking about in the esoterical sense. Yes, and occasionally I do have a good question. Because when you were younger, you were naked in the sense that they were just taking... People knew you, but they didn't know you. Now people know you.
Yeah, they know me, and they know me from my experiences. I did hide my using, though, quite well for a while, and then it just stopped working, and I just hid in the house and in my shoebox, in my shoe closet. But I think also that people don't realize, like, right now I'm very raw. I think I'm the most raw I have ever been. I've come clean with a lot of things, and not knowing where... I'm not in, I guess at times I am in fear of the unknown, but, like, I'm literally, like...
Literally? Yes.
Literally. I can't say
literally, yes.
I can't say the word hormonal.
Hormonal? Yes.
Hormonal.
Okay, get back to your train of thought. Sorry.
I know, well, no, you went off, so I'll go off, but I do remember where I was. I feel like right now, because I'm not in a relationship, nothing's fixing me. Nothing is fixing me but me and this thing called life and God and people around me. Like, I'm trusting in the process, and I've never trusted so heavily on a process like this. And I've been sober for 5 years, over 5 years.
Yeah,
like,
8 months and 3 days.
Thank you, finally. But
yes.
I feel more raw than I have ever felt, and I feel like you can see it in me, on me, and I cry a lot, but, like, I stop crying really quick, like I just did right now.
There's nothing wrong with crying.
You just called me Puddles earlier.
Well, no, I knew a woman named Puddles. Oh, that was her nickname in sobriety. And if you ever met her, she's an amazing woman. I always loved the nickname she had, Puddles. But anyways, come on, get closer to the mic. You moved away. All your fans are like, I'm going to have hate mail tomorrow from people because I got you away from them.
You have been talking for like 35 minutes right now, so I'm just letting you go on your ramp.
Oh, God, you've been talking more than I have.
Am I not the guest?
Yes, you are the guest.
Thank you very much.
And a very talented guest that is. What are you doing now? I need eye contact.
My friend Donald says
yes.
That to congratulate you on Donal. Donal. Is it Donal?
I can't. It's the amazing actor from Jerry Maguire. And
no, can we not say like?
Sorry. How many other, Donals are there? I can't pronounce his name either.
Donald.
Can you call in and tell us how to pronounce your name correctly? The number here is 877-8830. That's 877-8830.
Says congratulations on 13 years.
830.
And,
thank you very much.
I just got really nervous, like, saying it out loud.
It's a very weird thing when you say you're 13 years sober. It's a very extremely weird thing to say you're coming up on that or anything like that. It's very surreal.
It's really hard for me to say that I'm overcoming certain obstacles, like, in my life. Like, it's just... it's hard. I think it's hard for anyone to like talk about what's really going on in their lives and where they're at. Doesn't matter if they're an addict or not. Like, I don't necessarily think that other people are in addiction or struggling with this while they're listening to us or they're texting me right now. Right. Like, I think that everyone talks about different things, and we support each other, and we're friends, and we're family, and we're all like, it's humanity.
Yeah.
And I think
we're blessed that we have that. That's the major difference, is that we have the groups and we have those places that we could have the fellowship. And I think it's, we're very lucky.
We are lucky, but not, I think that you can get sober too without having to do program. It's not my experience. I think that some people can.
I think we've had that on our show. We had one of the comics. We had an amazing comic who's found Jesus.
I mean, some people find it through therapy. I mean, I think that there are other ways. I've tried everything.
Yeah.
Like I've even Kabbalism for a minute. Like I was like, okay, Kabbalah's going to cure me. Like it didn't. You know, I thought going to, you know, church was going to heal me, and that alone didn't change
Well, I think
it.
that's what you just said is the amazing word is alone. You know, you can go to meetings and go to church, and it, you know, could definitely work together.
Therapy works for me too, and you know, writing and being alone is working. You know, it's healing me as well.
With the weight stuff, did you have to go to other 12-step meetings?
No, I didn't
or?
do it through program. I didn't do that. Like again, that's why I don't feel like you have to do correspond everything
Right.
through step work or you know,
I agree.
12-step things. I knew that I was tired of being called fat blah 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 on TV, and I didn't feel comfortable anymore, and everything was weighing down on me. I felt uncomfortable. I know people who have struggled with weight understand this, even if it's 5 pounds heavier. Like, and I thought, you know, I can do this, but I didn't know how. And I think we were talking about that earlier. Like, I know how to get sober, like, because I've done it. So when I was like, what am I going to do? Like, how am I going to get there? It felt so impossible. And slowly but surely, I started asking questions that you hate me doing so much. And I started like, I bought a treadmill and I started doing that and the cardio. And then I broke my ankle and then I couldn't do that. So I went to a nutritionist. And then, you know, I've been, you know, blessed by, you know, Auntie Dick helped me a lot. He was like, you need to lose weight. You're fat, you know, and it's great. I needed that. I needed to hear that. But then
Everybody needs an Andy Dick.
yeah, I love my Andy. And then Dennis Rodman trained me every day on Sober House. Like that was a gift in itself. Like, and he taught me a lot of things. And he spoke. You know, we had a great relationship. And other people have helped me. Jeremy Jackson actually helped me lose the last 25 pounds since Celebrity Rehab wrapped. He told me to do this eating clean thing, and I didn't get to eat any butter or oils or anything, and everything was weighed, and I wanted to shoot myself, but I did it, and I learned to eat clean. I don't necessarily do that as you and I had pizza last Friday.
Yes, we had pizza last. Oh, that's right. As we tried getting somebody into treatment.
Yeah, I was so mad. I don't know why I got so angry after I like spent 10 hours trying to get someone into a treatment clean, and then they left.
It is hard.
I don't know how you do it 24 hours a day. It would drive me crazy.
You know, I hate the old adage, you know, when they say when you help the newcomer doesn't get sober. It's you that gets to stay sober. And you see it so often. You see people coming into treatment that don't want it, aren't ready, but you're still here. And I think that's really why the thing of service. And you're listening to KLEAN Radio. That's Klean with a K. And we're in the studio tonight with the extremely talented, extremely graceful Jennifer Gimenez from Celebrity Rehab and Sober House. The number here is 877-8830-830. That's 877-8830-830. We'll be back in a couple seconds. You're listening to KLEAN Radio. That's Klean with a K.
We're both looking for something we've been afraid to find.
Do you suspect a loved one is abusing drugs? Call KLEAN Treatment Center at 888-601-6040 for a free drug test and consultation. A treatment advisor is available to help you administer the test and answer any questions you may have regarding treatment and more. We are here to help. Call us today at 888-601-6040 or find us online at cleantreatmentcenter.com for your free drug test and the start of a promising future.
Welcome back to KLEAN Radio, and in the studio tonight with Jennifer Gimenez.
I have my girls right now tweeting back and forth, and like they're so excited about Deb getting help, and it's so amazing. These girls that I don't know personally, like face to face, but I know them spiritually. It feels like we're connected. Are all listening, and it's just amazing, and they're all excited that Deb is going to be getting help, and. I just love that. It's so amazing to get the support that I've been getting from people that I don't even know, like that they want to help me, like, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is such a trip.
I want to tell you a great story, just because, you know, one of the reasons I love being affiliated with KLEAN and Andrew, who's not in tonight, is Andrew's got a heart of gold, and Andrew has a hard time saying no. but a couple weeks ago you had tried to get somebody into the facility, and there was a few issues. And afterwards, and he left, and I said to one of the people, and I said, I'm sorry, it sucks that he didn't stay or whatever. And he goes, or whatever issues happened, he goes, but he was here for 4 days, maybe he could get help. And to be able to be affiliated with people of that thinking was amazing, that they don't say, oh, well, we didn't get him for 30. And that's one of the things I love about the KLEAN Treatment Center. And I'm not saying this as an infomercial way. I'm saying this as people I love. I miss Andrew being in here tonight because we're actually good friends. And I'm happy you're here tonight. But I get to work with people, and I get to be around people that are good friends of mine.
Yeah, no, that is unbelievable. And, again, like, I don't feel like everyone has to go to treatment.
Right.
Like, I feel treatment saved my life. I needed to be taken care of. But there are 12-step programs that are for free.
Yes.
For free.
Yes. You don't need a $30,000 big
No,
book.
there's also Salvation Army.
Yes.
It's hardcore, but you can do it. There's, you don't have to be institutionalized. But it's amazing. I love, like, when we went out to dinner, me, you, and Andrew, and we talked. It was mind-blowing to me how passionate you guys are. And, I remember when my friend didn't stay and he didn't pay, and I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I felt so much guilt for him and shame. Like, I can't believe, I brought someone there. But, you just made it go like, no, that's what we're here for. Like, I mean,
what are you going to do? And I think, what are you going to do? And hopefully Debbie will get on the plane and get help. But there, and the thing about Debbie is, about getting help, it's like, please take the shot. Please take, however you're going to get into, please take the shot of trying to get help, because there's so many Debbies.
There are so many, and yeah, I mean,
I just want to read you a cool text that somebody wrote to me. They go about you, and I don't want. We was just listening to you on the way to a meeting. Oh my God, I love Jennifer Gimenez. When peeps like her talk about her imperfections, it makes me feel better about mine. She is awesome.
Oh my God,
and that was
sweet.
the text I got from a friend of mine who's struggling into sobriety, and that's pretty cool.
Thank you for that text.
So your girls are tweeting. Go back, because I like the.
And they're actually saying nice things about you, so get over it. Drama.
Okay.
No, I mean, it's amazing. Like, I have to say, even though, like, we bust each other's balls, which I don't have, is that I do.
And I love, as you said, that the engineer's not in the room, so I don't even know if that's a word you could say on the air. He'd like just walk. I'm joking. I don't think that's one of the 7.
I think that, I mean, I find you so amazing as a human being, and we are really good friends.
Yes.
And I've confided so much in you, and, like, I tend to do like everyone else, like try to scare people off. If you're gonna get close to me, well, I'll show you me.
Right.
And you haven't done that. But your phone is driving me crazy that you're doing that.
Oh,
every 2
sorry,
seconds.
it's just an OCD thing. We are gonna take one. We have a favorite caller, and he listens. He's 15 years old. He lives in Rancho Cucamonga. All he does is listen to the radio, and he calls in radio talk shows. And his addiction is the radio. And we're going to take a quick call from Sonny from Rancho Cucamonga. What's cooking, good looking?
Well, it's been cooking, actually, really good. How about you?
I'm good, Sonny. How you doing? You miss Andrew tonight?
I do, actually. I'm a little sad. I actually got a little teary-eyed earlier once you announced it.
Yes, but we have a beautiful woman in the studio tonight, Jennifer Gimenez.
Hello, Mrs. Gimenez. How are you?
Hi, honey. How are you?
Sonny, what do you got for us tonight?
Good. I'm actually watching. Hey, Judah, I'm actually watching you guys and waving at you right now on the internet.
We can't see you, Sonny. So Sonny always has an amazing question, or sometimes not always amazing, but he's always got a couple questions lined up. Sonny, what do you got for us tonight?
All right. How much of alcohol does a person need to get drunk?
That's a very good question,
It is a good
Sonny.
question. It depends. It's an allergy of the body. Like your body, you can take one drink and you could be drunk, or some people can drink, half a gallon of vodka and not be drunk.
Yeah, it all depends, body weight, all that type of stuff, Sonny.
I think that's really important, though, Sonny, that you brought that up, because a lot of people aren't aware that alcoholism isn't about how much you drink, it's why you drink.
Wait, did you ask how many drinks you become drunk, or how much does a person need to become an alcoholic?
How much do you have to drink in order to get drunk?
That all depends on body type, Sonny, and body weight, and
your tolerance.
Yeah, and your tolerance.
Oh, all right then. So, for an example, I have a high temper on myself. Say if I take a shot, I get drunk like that.
That's you?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're also 15, and Yeah, you don't want to build up tolerance, Sonny. What else you got for us?
2 more questions. My second question here is that can someone get poisoned off of doing drugs?
Yes.
Yes.
The chemicals that go into your body.
Yes.
Which is terrible, of course. I don't know why people do it. But really, I'm not an expert. If anything, if you need to ask an expert, you go to KLEAN Radio, that is. But last question.
Yes, Sonny.
Which one of you, did you, if you did, Judah, or Andrew, which one of you guys came on up with the KLEAN Radio theme song?
You mean the Killers?
Well, if that's it, no, the one that has the beat to it.
Yes, the Killers. Yes, that would be me, Sonny.
Oh, yeah, you have good taste. I actually tried to do the Judah dance, actually, when that comes on.
Oh, can you do the Judah dance?
I will do the Judah dance during the next break. And, Sonny, God bless. Godspeed. We'll talk to you next week.
All right.
Listen to the show because we actually have some good news coming up at the end of the show, Sonny.
Oh, I'm going to be listening. Thanks.
Okay, I'll talk to you later, Sonny.
Later.
Theta skater.
Yeah, he is. He's good. He's a good kid.
So
and he's like, it's like really funny because last week I was listening to another talk station and I heard Sonny calling in on Saturday, giving his sports prognostications.
That is so.
And I was like, that's Sonny. I tried calling everybody, going, oh my God, Sonny's on another radio station. But I get it. I used to listen. That was my gig. You know, I loved talk radio. When I was drinking, I would listen to talk radio.
Really?
Yeah, and all my parents' numbers got banned, because I would call into these talk radio stations in New York drunk. And just like, I don't even know what I was saying, but I would call in everybody. Yes, because I just didn't want to be alone. And I figured if I was talking to a radio host, I wasn't alone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how my alcoholism was.
Well, I didn't, I relapsed in 2004 and I couldn't sleep. So my doctor, another doctor, not an addictionologist, he gave me Ambien.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, it stopped working. And so he knew I was an addict and all this stuff. And then I said, it's not working. He said, well, take 15 milligrams instead of 10. So I would do that and I'd black out. And I would take the whole bottle of Ambien, all 30 pills. And I would drunk dial. And I would just talk to people over and over. I keep repeating myself. I just couldn't stop.
I used to do that with my sister. And one night my sister finally said to me, do you know you've called me 7 nights in a row and we've had the same, or 5 nights in a row, we've had the same conversation?
Oh, my God.
And I was like, no.
I had this woman who actually was my agent when I was 14. She, her name, we call her Bean. And she would say, honey, you repeated yourself 55 times in every sentence. And I was like, what do you mean I could talk to you? That whole thing. But in the end, I was talking to the walls. I wasn't even calling people up. I was just there were people on the walls. It was not cute. So sad.
So are you, let me ask you a question with weight. Does it scare you?
Okay, so
you look amazing. You've gone from 157 down to whatever.
257.
257.
Just think of what you're saying.
250. Sorry, I have 257. So many numbers. From 257 down to looking amazing. Does it scare you?
I gained about a month ago, I gained 5 pounds, and I was like, I weighed myself, and I was like, oh, that's 257, and I had to go separate fact from fiction, and that's where I get to apply, my recovery into it. I have tools today that allow me to cope through things. I don't have to, think I have to go use, and I know how to, think it through. So I was like, that's not real. That's not real. It doesn't say, 157. It says 138 or whatever, and I'm like, oh, my God, and I realized, right there, I need to check myself. I look better. I thought if I weighed 148, that was a goal I could never reach. And then I reached it, and then some, and I'm way lower than that. And I thought, that's an improvement. Even if I got to it, I was a size 16 and I was pushing a 16. I wasn't ooh, it's kind of big on me. It was tight 16, and
it's great that you could laugh about it. It's amazing.
I had to learn to laugh, today, and I cried a lot. I'd be like, I was a supermodel that just got chubby, no, I got fat, and I was also anorexic at a point. I was a binger, a purger. I did all of it. Laxatives were my best friend. They would tell me I had to lose weight at 14, and I didn't know how to do that. And they were like, just take her out of school. They tell my mom, the agents, and they're like, just have her not eat and be in, the gym all day. And then I couldn't gain muscle. I mean, it was crazy. It was so hardcore because
that is insane.
I was, up against, all the supermodels that were in their mid-20s, late 20s, and I had to be just as good or better. There's always 15 people behind you. And I think that's, that criticism and that I didn't have coping skills and tools like I do today. And I thought, like, I was always too thin, too small, too big, too tall, too fat, too this, everything. I know all my imperfections. And one of the things I had to do is get an acceptance with that. And they told me in treatment that I wasn't allowed to purge, and they would keep me in the psych ward, and so I stopped. And it just grosses me out just to think about it today. So I do watch it, and I do watch that I'm not getting addicted to working out either, and why I'm working out. Like today, it's a release for me. It helps, and I shock my body with weight. I swim now. I swim a lot because I'm staying with my friend who has a pool, and so I swim every day, and then I'll do heavy weights one day, and then light weights, and I'll just do all stomach and cardio and different kinds of cardio. Like I'm always changing that up, but really it's about what you eat.
Right.
And my family.
And you're going to have bad days. You're going to have good days.
Yeah. I mean, I keep talking about having McDonald's. I haven't, but I have pizza, and I know why I'm eating today. Like I eat out of emotion. I know that I'm just going for it and why I'm eating or, all that stuff. So like one of the things about it is about the weight stuff is I'm starting to stop biting my nails, and then I smoke, and I was quitting, and then I ended a relationship, and now I'm like, I went back to smoking a lot, and I'm now going, I got to quit smoking, and not smoking is powerful. And
I think what you're talking about, though, is so important is you're talking about being human, like that girl texted. You're talking about being human and being alive, and it's terrifying, I think, for people when they're getting sober, is all these things you're talking about are just terrifying.
It is, and sometimes like I go, I am worthy of being loved. Like this can change, and you've seen it without makeup and what it looks like, and it's not always pretty, and I'm gonna, I'm getting older. I'm not like, I'm not 20. I'm closer to 100 than I am at 20. I mean, I can't go backwards.
No, that's a little crazy. But
well, you know what I mean.
20, yes, I know exactly.
But like, I can't go backwards. I can only go forward and stay in right now. And so, I'm gonna sag. I'm gonna get older. I'm gonna wrinkle up. And then what? But right now, what I've learned through all these years lately is that I can have money. I can have fame. I can have fortune. I can have nothing. I can have no love. I can have people can beat me down and rip me apart. But no one can take my foundation. No matter what, unless I give you that power, and I refuse to give anyone that power right now. And
how long has that been since you've been in that place?
I think I've been through glimpses of it throughout my sobriety. In the beginning, I didn't know right from left, and then when I realized that I have been exposed to abuse in my life. That I realized, wait a minute, I'm like this girl talking about recovery in life, and that I have to come clean, like, because I didn't know I was in it, and now I'm like, I know where I'm at. I know that what I do is one thing, but who I am is a complete different thing, and like no one knows about the Debbies of the world in my life, and there's many of those people in my life, but unless, she brings it up, and there's a lot of people I respond to, and I don't talk about, and that's between me and them, and that's there's this thing that people say, like, if you want to be a good person, like, don't tell people what you do.
Right. Well, the greatest form of charity is the person not knowing.
Mm-hmm. And I try to practice that because so many people have given me an ear to listen to me, and a shoulder to cry on, and tissue to wipe my nose. I mean, you've been one of them, and countless others in my life, and I get to express, like, I'm not okay today at times.
I think that's the hardest thing sometimes for people that are sober. It's like we always talk about, the newcomer, and a lot of times I think, the people that need help are also the people with time that are going through this stuff because they're scared to they don't want to sound bad. It's like you have 13 years, you have 20 years, you have 25 years, and you're scared to say I'm going through a rough time because you don't want people to look at you and go, how can you be going through a rough time? You've got 25 years sober.
Yeah.
And it's like somehow you've managed to stay sober, you're isolated from issues. But the longer you live, the more issues you have.
Yeah. I mean, I've never said this one out loud, but the people in my life know this. Like, in June, I was wearing like $10,000 outfits. I was everywhere. You couldn't it was annoying to look at my Facebook or my Twitter thing because I was literally everywhere for months. And I was renting a couch for my girlfriend, for $100 a week. Like, I emergency moved out of my house. My life is still in storage. I'm now living with a friend of mine, and I get to live in a very beautiful place and I'm living the dream. Like, if this is homeless, like, it's really beautiful. And
You're chic homeless right now.
But no, I'm not. I mean, and it's like, I don't talk about that, but I talk about it with the people that are in my private life. And, I'm crying, like, in fetal position. You've been one of them, my hostages. Like, I've been in fetal position with lashes falling down from the fake lashes in between jobs like CNN or ABC or blah, 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 or House, or another show on, other networks. And I'm in fetal position crying because I don't know how to do this thing called life at 5 years, 8 months, and 3 days.
But what's pretty amazing is that you do, because you're walking through it sober. I mean, that's a pretty amazing thing.
I don't know.
You're doing it.
I'm doing it.
You're doing it.
I'm trusting, I'm believing that you believe and that people like you in my life are telling me to believe.
So you're doing it.
I'm just in it.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And I think that's really cool. It's like, we're not... I think one of the things when people talk about sobriety is they think we're absolved from issues. It's like somehow we're not going to be, we're in a tough time in our society right now, especially, so many people are losing homes, losing, jobs. We're not absolved from the mess that's going on around us. And I don't know, it's pretty cool that you're walking through it. And, Tony Dennison, who we both know, talks about...
I love him.
Yeah, who's amazing. And he talks about the hero. In every great story, the hero walks into the unknown. He doesn't, that's what makes him the hero. If, like, the hero walked into the known, it wouldn't, make him a hero. It's when you walk into the unknown that you become the hero of your own story. And he always talks about that to me, about becoming the hero of your own story. Walking through what you're walking through right now. It's such an amazing message. I mean, and I'm not just saying that. It's an amazing message. I know what you've been through. I know what you go through. And just to walk through that, a sober woman, is absolutely amazing. And you're listening to KLEAN Radio. That's Clean with a K. We're in the studio tonight with Jennifer Gimenez. The number here is 877-8830-830. That's 877-8830-830. We'll be back in a second. Close up the show.
Why don't you let me have a word?
Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, I just wanted to know.
Okay. And say KLEAN Radio.
KLEAN Radio.
With Jennifer Gimenez.
Thank you.
We'll be back in a second.
He's still beating me with the work.
Addiction is any behavior you cannot stop that results in destructive consequences. Are you struggling with an addiction to drugs or alcohol? Are you ready to take control of your life? The treatment advisors at KLEAN Treatment Center are here to help. Call us today at 888-601-6040. That's 888-601-6040. You can also check us out at cleantreatmentcenter.com. That's clean with a K. The sooner you reach out for help, the sooner your new life begins.
KLEAN Radio on Angels Radio AM 830 is presented by KLEAN Residential Treatment Center, a dynamic and professional addiction treatment facility.
Now it's back to Andrew and Judah.
It's for the block, boy. Yeah. You keep on missing the Judah dance. You're just missing it.
Do it again. No, do it again. Just do it again. Come
I
on,
can't. I'm listening to
go
Scarface. It's The Fix. This is one of my favorite songs, by the way.
Really, we should listen to it instead of your 80s music you were like torturing me with on the way over here. It was like
nothing better than the 80s. That's why.
What about 2011? Is that not better than the 80s? Why are you living in the past? Why can't you stay in the future right now?
I'm still there.
Or not the future, the present.
Yes, very profound words by Jennifer Gimenez, who was kind enough to come down here to Angel Stadium and do the show with us tonight.
I really want to thank you, though. I told you I have the gift of the gab. Like, I didn't even feel like it's been 2 hours.
What's next? I feel like this, like, so, what's next?
Well, if you made me cry, like...
Yeah, no, but you
like, what's next? And
you did Charlie's Angels, you did The Sweetest Thing, you did one of my favorite movies of all time, and I think you were so lucky that you got to work with him, is Corky Romano. And I'm talking about Peter Falk. I'm talking about just
amazing,
like an idol of mine, and he just died sadly.
I know.
And so you did these movies, model at 14, actress by 20, and these, below, just these huge movies.
Yeah, no.
And you're not talking about little movies. You're not talking about like little independent. You're talking about studio movies. You got sober. You Celebrity Rehab. What's next?
I'm acting, and like I'm hosting things. I have other shows, reality shows coming out soon. Very, very soon, like in the next few weeks.
I want to ask you what they are. Can I ask you or no?
I can't.
Okay, that's why. You see, I wanted to ask, but I realized don't ask.
It's like the number one. It's the biggest reality show out there.
Ooh, yeah.
And I have, I'm coming out in Star Magazine. I'm modeling. I opened Fashions Night Out the other night. I was back on the runway. I really feel like anything is possible right now. I feel that I will be in love in sometime in the next decade, and
that's like a good time frame.
Yeah,
because
it's a good
not
time.
like you can't get into too much trouble. You got 10 years to go.
I feel like right now I'm in this place, and I blog a lot about it. Is I'm finding Jenny.
What's your? Oh, I like that. Finding Jenny.
I'm finding Jenny.
What is your blog's name?
My blog's name is Jen, Jenn, Gimenez.com. And I blog about almost everything. I haven't been able to lately blog all the time. I was doing it daily about my day-to-day experiences, and it's not just like I'm on this show or that show. It's like, I'm in fetal position, and I don't lie about what's going on in my life. I also respect and protect the privacy of the people in my life. I don't name drop people unless I've asked. And I try to keep certain parts of my life, even though I'm a public figure right now, I try to keep certain parts of my life very private, and I protect my mom and my friends and my brother and my little Mickey.
You mentioned your brother is...
my brother was in the military.
Yeah.
And he's an amazing guy. He's like the love of my life next to my Mickey. Well, my Mickey's second.
That is an amazing... And he's a hero. I mean,
my brother is. He was in Iraq, and, he was in the war, and he gave 6 years of his life after graduating from USC to fight for my freedom and yours. And it was interesting. My mom talks about this. She says, con una boca limpia, which means with a clean mouth. She said she was smoking. She quit smoking one day and said, the day I went into treatment, my brother went to Iraq, and she said, con una boca limpia, I'm not going to smoke again, and I'm just going to pray every day for both of us. Like, we were both fighting. Like, he was fighting the war, out there, and I was fighting the war inside me.
That's amazing.
I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have been able to overcome things, and I hang on to those words no matter what. And the 4 hardest words I ever had to learn was I don't know, no, help, and that's inappropriate. And I do believe in miracles. I believe in second chances, and I'm hoping that Hollywood gives me a second chance. And what's next? The sky's the limit. Really, the sky is the limit. I just have to envision a limitless sky.
And
that was good.
Yes, that was a great, and I didn't say a word because I was just listening to the words. And
you listen. No, you do listen. You just act like you don't.
Are there any? Do you? Like amends wise, do you feel like most of the amends you've needed to make are out there, or there's still more?
Really, because I shared to you that one secret today. I make a consistent living amends to my father. He's not here, but I get to honor him today, and hopefully his spirit is around, just floating free. And my mom and the people who love me today, by staying sober, and I've made a lot of amends this year. I cannot tell you, it never ends. And I have one love of my life, which is a girlfriend of mine, who I owe. I've been praying for God to both give us, the heart to see each other, and I feel that's coming really soon, sooner than I thought. And that's my next biggest amends, the last biggest amends I have. It's one person that's living, and I get to make it to myself. I'm very hard on myself, as kind of out there as I try to be. I'm the worst punisher to me. Well,
I always say that to people when they say about tough love, and I'm like, you can't beat me worse than I could beat me.
Yeah, and that used to be my philosophy. Yeah. I'd be like, oh, you want to hurt me? I'll show you how to hurt me. And I'd go out there, and man, I try not to do that as much.
We're running out of time, but we do have a caller. Should we take it quickly?
Sure, let's do it.
Let's take Amanda in Silver Lake. How are you, Amanda?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good.
Jennifer, I wanted to thank you so much because I've heard you on the show, and I think I heard you on Loveline a few weeks ago. And
I was on.
it's so amazing that, like, you can come out and be like, I was imperfect. I, like, showed Dr. Drew my boobs. Like, it makes, I don't know, me and I'm sure other people who are, like, super early in sobriety be like, oh, my God, there's someone who is not perfect, too. Because as a woman, I always feel like I have to be perfect and I have to put my best face forward. And if someone knows I'm imperfect, oh, my God, what do I do?
Yeah, no, I think it's being in truth, you know, and that doesn't mean like act out anywhere unless that's what you need to do to stay sober. Like, I mean, I'm not one to say like you can't, but I think it's important. I think what society brings upon for women in general, like, you know, the media and everything, like if you're not this certain weight or type or you don't act this certain way, like what is really perfect? That's what they would ask me. Like I kept saying like, I have to be perfect. And they're like, explain to me what perfect is. What does it look like? And I had no definition for it. You know,
it's so true.
And it's like, give yourself a break. Really, give yourself a break. Like, you know, they tell me like I'm 5 years and some change sober, and how do you treat a 5-year-old? You know, and they're still pooping in their pants every here and there. You know, and here and now, and they're learning to speak and spell words. Like I have to treat myself like that right now. You know, like a baby. I'm still a kid, and if you're in early sobriety, like, give yourself a break and let women love you. Like there will be some women out there that do love you, and I'm grateful for those women in my life.
How much time do you have, Amanda?
I have almost 2 weeks now.
Oh, congratulations.
That's amazing.
Are you going to meetings?
Thank you. Yes, I was actually listening earlier on my way to go to a meeting, went to a meeting, and then I decided to call in.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for...
Thank you, Amanda. We're going to have to let you go because we're close. Know
that you are loved and that you matter. Please know that you matter.
Thank you so much.
And find Jen on
you.
Facebook. And obviously, we know that you actually pay attention to the people on your Facebook page, which is really amazing.
Thank you.
So congrats on that. We'll talk to you later,
Bye,
Amanda.
Bye.
Just how cute she is.
Very cute. And it's one of my favorite. One of my favorite songs of all time is Amanda by Boston. But I think it's amazing that you actually do pay attention to the people on your Facebook page, and that says volumes about you.
Well, we're all human beings, you know.
I think a lot of people don't, and that's what I think is amazing. Is that you're in an industry, and you have no problem being accommodating. And you know, I'm a fan of, you know, I love when I bump into actors or something on the street, and I'm like, you know, I get this. You get two different reactions sometimes, and sometimes I'm like, you're amazing, and they're like, thank you, and sometimes, you know, they come up with something.
But you've been around me. Every time we've been out, someone comes up to me, and you've seen me. Like,
yes.
I hug everybody.
You're extremely
I'm so
accommodating,
grateful, like,
and it's real.
It is.
It's
like,
totally
I never
real.
thought I was going to be able to do this again.
You are extremely authentic. You are who you say you are, and I think one of the coolest things is that you actually talk about the issues that are going on in your life. And I can't think of anything better than your living promises. You know, and that's a pretty amazing thing, is because I know what you're going through. I know what you've been through in some ways, not everything, but you're walking through it. And I think there's nothing better we could do about a show like this than talking about walking through life as a sober person, a sober woman, not just sober like you said, but as a person.
Yeah, I believe that we're all more than just, you know, who we think we are. I'm more than just the sober chick.
Yes, you are more than, you're so much more than just a sober chick. And that's right now, you know, and next it's going to be when you hit the movie, when you know, when you're in the mood, there, you know, there's the movie chick.
Yeah,
and
I mean, but I feel like, you know, I just had a brain fart.
That's okay, because we're running out of time.
Yeah,
that's right.
No, I mean, I feel like we all have so much more depth and weight to us. You know, and I am not what I do. It's just how I make you know, money. But it's been the greatest platform and experience, like the celebrity rehabs and the sober houses. Like, it has been the greatest platform. I never thought. So thank you.
And I want to thank you again for coming down here. You rock. I also have some good and some sad news for our listeners to AM 830. This is our last week here, not because we're moving on to bigger and better pastures. We're actually moving to 980 AM. in Los Angeles. So everybody that's listening tonight, and you know, whatever listeners you brought us, we'll still be on KLEANRadio.com, and we'll also be on 980, which is an exciting move.
I love that move.
I
want to come back.
You will be coming back.
Promise?
And I don't even need to promise. It's an of course. So to all loyal listeners, next week, stay tuned to 980 AM, and stay tuned to any and all news on our KLEAN website or our Facebook link. And I want to thank you, Jennifer Gimenez, again. You are an amazing woman, and to all the women out there, they actually have a role model.
Oh,
so thank you again for coming down here. And I'm Judah, and you're Jennifer.
I am Jennifer, signing off for you guys. This is amazing. Thank you for letting me be on here.
Thank you for being here. You're listening to KLEAN Radio.
Thank you.
Hey now.
No,
Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.